Authors, artists, activists, the folk who shape our world. Thousands of conversations, tens of thousands of questions. And somewhere along the way, I realized that the art of conversation is dying. So here's what I'm going to do about it. I am now going to teach what these almost 40 years have taught me: how to have conversations that matter. 6 courses, from the anatomy of a great conversation to generous listening as a superpower to handling difficult exchanges without losing your dignity or your mind. Go to TavisTalks.com right now. That's TavisTalks.com. Download the free guide, see what's coming, sign up to be the first to know when we launch the series. Conversation is a skill, and like any skill, it can be taught. I'll see you in class.
Hey, yeah, I wanna shoot, baby, shoot.
Ooh, how you doing? No, not you. You, the bow-legged one. Yeah. What's your name? Damn, baby, that sounds sexy. Here I go again, girls. What's my weakness? Hey. Okay, then chillin', minding my business. Word. You saw I looked around and I couldn't believe this. I swear, I stand, my niece, my witness. The brother had it going on with something kinda wicked. Had to kick it. I'm not shy, so I asked for the digits. I hope no, that don't make me see what I want. Slip, slide to it swiftly. Felt it in my hips, so I dip back to my bag of tricks. Then I flip forward tip, made me wanna do tricks on them, lick them like a lollipop should be lit. Came to my senses and I chill for a bit. Don't know how you do the voodoo that you do so well. It's a spell, hell makes me wanna shoot.
Welcome in, happy Tuesday. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. You're tuned into your backstage pass to the culture. And here we don't just talk about what happened. We talk about why it landed the way that it did. And tonight, you know, Andy's always on theme. We are talking hip-hop legacies, media shakeups, and, you know, a couple of reality checks, right? We've got Salt-N-Pepa finding out that legendary doesn't automatically mean legally protected. We're going to get into the results of their lawsuit against Universal Music Group. We're also going to talk Martin Lawerence. He is responding to the conversation that Ari Lennox started regarding Pam and colorism, a debate that refuses to die. And, you know, he's kind of reminding folks that 90s comedy didn't come with trigger warnings. So we'll get into it. And a judge has dismissed Chris Brown's $500 million defamation lawsuit. So we'll get into the details of all of that. You know, receipts, context, a little truth with your tea. That's us right here. So tonight, what we are starting with, conversation starters, you know, things you need to be aware of just to keep you in the mix. First up, happy birthday to the I was about to say OG, but she's not OG. Happy birthday to the It Girl, Lori Harvey, beauty founder, model, Steve Harvey's princess. That, you know, upsets a couple of people. She's the internet's favorite example of a woman dating without auditioning for permanence. Shout out to Lori. You know, big ups to her. She handled being in the same room Sunday at the Globes with her man and her ex-man with grace, class, and aplomb, as she always does. So big ups to her. And we are sending blessings, love, and light to the family of rapper John Forte. He has passed away at the age of 50. He's best known for his work with the Fugees. He was found unresponsive in his Chilmark, Massachusetts home on Monday. He was found in the kitchen and pronounced dead at the scene. There's no foul play respected. His case has been referred to the Massachusetts Chief Medical Examiner with the cause of death pending. He survived a seizure-related hospitalization last year. And, of course, he was Grammy nominated for the Fugees' The Score. He's lived several lives. 90s hip-hop insider, solo artist, and then, you know, reinvention on Martha's Vineyard, where he built a home studio. We know that he served some time famously for transporting, was it liquid fentanyl? I can't remember what the exact drug was. But, 50 is young. We've been talking about how we're losing a lot of black men in hip-hop at the age of 50 or just above. So want to send blessings out to his fans and family. And we're going to get into this a little bit with our guest contributor tonight. We got Nick Hamilton from NiteCast Media in the building. Steelers fans, an end of an era has come. After 19 seasons, the longest active NFL coaching tenure, Mike Tomlin is stepping down from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He won a Super Bowl in his second season, 13 playoff berths, 8 AFC North titles, 193 regular season wins. And, he is, I guess what you'd say, the template of what you want a head coach to be. We never heard a lot of friction about him as far as, away from the game, big flare-ups with players. So consistency like that doesn't generally get fired. It gets archived. So we'll talk more about that with Nick Hamilton. When we come forward, you're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Can I feel the vibe? Can I feel the vibe? We used to be number 10, now we permanent at one. White clef reaches on Ichiban. This is Mrs. Tin Can, I'm your candy handy man. Me without shoes like American without the band. Stand, cool fellow, dance all, stay mellow.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
My perfect day has sand, salt, water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is pleased to partner with the Empowerment Congress once again for their 34th annual summit. The summit's theme is From Vision to Action, a forum to unlock participatory democracy, and will feature a nonpartisan gubernatorial candidate forum focused on issues of importance to the African American community. The summit is the signature public policy-oriented observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy during the national 3-day holiday weekend that celebrates his life. This year's summit will be held on Saturday, January 17th, 2026 at the California Science Center in Exposition Park from 9 to 11 a.m. Admission is free, but registration is required at KBLA1580.com. All major announced candidates for California governor for the Democratic and Republican Party nominations have been invited to participate in the candidate forum, which will be moderated by Tavis Smiley. An all-star panel of journalists will pose questions to the candidates, and the forum will be broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580. This is going to be a big year for local, state, and national politics. The political pulse of 2026 beats on KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Now, as I mentioned, well, let me do the business before I do the introductions, right? You know, if at any point you want to get in on the conversation tonight, 800-920-1580. Of course, you can hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580. I am, of course, at Stiletto Jill everywhere. I let your girl say hi. You can download the app to catch up on past episodes. And, of course, if you want the visual to go along with this audio experience, hit us up on the YouTube chat. Shout out to our community. They are there getting it in. We love the community, our chatters, our VIPs. So, as I mentioned, I'm not alone tonight. I, of course, am joined by Nick Hamilton of NiteCast Media. Welcome in. Welcome back, Nick.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, where you may be on the planet. I am back in the building. What's going on?
You are. How have you been? We haven't seen you in a while.
Hey,
You've
you
been
know,
traveling,
I'm in the wind like paper planes, so.
dropping, down at championship games, red carpets everywhere.
Well, you know, if it's bowl season or award season, it's our season, so here we are.
It's on.
Hello.
What are your thoughts on Mike Tomlin retiring?
I mean, first of all, can we say that Mike Tomlin's always had the freshest lineup, like every week? Like he don't miss a week when it comes to lineups, man. But no, I think 19 years is a long time, and for them to come to a resolution, sometimes you need a break. I think people don't realize how tough NFL coaching is, and I think the way his what he's set up his legacy for, as far as being with one organization, 19 years. We know how the Steelers are. The man has never had a losing season. How many coaches can say that? I don't care if it's 9-8. I don't care if it's whatever. He's never had a losing season. So, props to Mike Tomlin. He brought a lot of prestige to that organization. He never had a scandal, and so he kept his players in check for the most part, except for Antonio Brown. But you can't keep nuts out of the nut house. But outside of that, I mean, hey man, I'm sure he's gonna get about $10 million on TV. He gonna kick back, go to Cancun or Turks and Caicos somewhere, and come back.
All right, then. All right, so I have two more things I want to get your opinion on before we get into tonight's topics. What did you think about, Andy, you got a question? Okay.
I think we about to ask the same thing, but go ahead. Do you?
Golden Globes, Tiana Taylor, or Lynn with the press?
With the press.
That's my last question. My second question is, what are your thoughts on the Golden Globes? You see there's been some controversy from some people about Tiana's win and whether or not winning for that particular role is exactly honorable. Feel like there's a little hateration in that.
I mean, it's a little hateration, holleration, and dancery. But, I mean, listen, Tiana Taylor, if you watch that movie, she worked for that role, and she had to be convincing in that role to even get it. And as creative and as dynamic as she is, I was extremely happy for her. I loved her speech, what she said to young black girls, black women, black people. And so I think she earned it. I don't think this is the last time we're going to see her on an award show winning something. I'm thinking she might win an Oscar now. I think they just bumped up her chances that much more, winning a Golden Globe. But I think Sinners got shafted because I think they should have won for Best Original Screenplay, because what Ryan Coogler has been able to captivate and pull off, it's going to be a lasting cultural film that's going to span generations. One Battle After Another is also a good film, but eventually it's going to fade out.
Okay. And lastly, you just heard Andy mention it. We talked a little bit about it in brief. There was Black Press America. Is that her publication? I believe. No.
It's the Jacksonville. I forgot the name of the actual one. But
I know I'm blanking on it, but she's a part of Black Press something as well.
Part of Black Press. Yeah.
USA. No, like
USA.
an organization. Yeah. So you guys have seen the clips. We talked about it briefly last night and played the clip. Her name is Lynn. Why am I blanking on all of the information now? I know it's hyphenated. Jones something. we're going to circle back to her full name, but she was a reporter. She gave encouragement to the Jacksonville Jaguars coach with her time during a post-game press conference. She received a lot of flack online from a lot of high-profile sports journalists. A lot of people have come to her defense. I saw Matt Barnes put out a statement defending her and some others. What are your thoughts on what transpired, as you were someone who's covered playoffs, the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, all of that, so you're there in those rooms? Lynn Jones-Turpin, thank you.
Respect to Lynn Jones. I've never met that woman, but I have so much respect for her, just the way she's carried herself with such dignity and grace and class. We live in such a cynical society that we can't even appreciate positivity, and we live in such a go-along, get-along gang mentality that if it doesn't fit our particular narrative or it doesn't fit our particular what we think something should happen because we're so programmed to go one particular way. I was incredibly disappointed. I'm not surprised that the AP reporter that put out the tweet after Adam Schefter put out his positive tweet. I love what Pat McAfee had to say. You mentioned Matt Barnes, but I'm not surprised that undercover racist blowhards like Jeff Pearlman.
Wait. Okay, wait.
Your boy.
Jeff is not racist. Okay. Let's not do that.
Okay.
Matt was upset with him. A lot of people are upset with him. But let's not, because you're saying that, I'm gonna let you speak your piece, right? But I'm saying Jemele Hill, who's a black woman.
I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there.
Now she dialed it back a tad, but Jemele Hill critiqued her harshly as well before she knew who she was.
Right. And I say Jeff Pearlman because he's always trying to insert himself into something that has no business being inserted into. And so the thing about it is, when I see him,
why does he have no business?
Because he worries more about clout chasing than the actual facts. That's why. Look at the Tupac book. That's why it flopped. You know why it
didn't
flopped?
Flop. It was a New York Times bestseller.
It flopped. Nobody bought that crap.
It actually.
Well, okay, your publishing company probably bought it. But anyway, as I was saying, you talked about Jemele Hill, which she was absolutely wrong, but I have to credit Jemele Hill. She did have a conversation with Lynn on a streaming
She did.
platform,
I saw some clips
and she did
from
apologize for it. So I have to commend. If we're going to criticize her for what she said initially, we got to give her props for apologizing to the woman to her face in so many regards. So when I look at Stan Verrett, which was also very disappointing because he had some discouraging things to say about the Lynn Jones situation, I can't remember, what happened to the United Front? What happened to let's take a breath before we decide to press send?
So let me ask you this, truthfully speaking, right? Because there's been a conversation about influencers on the red carpet and how they're not prepared. They don't really know the individuals. They're not using the space in the proper manner. And people like you and I, in both cases, I've never been a sports beat reporter, but I have covered sports and certain things, and obviously we're on the red carpets, and more journalists are being replaced by influencers, right? And that's probably in some ways kind of what I believe a lot of people thought she was, or just, a fan reporter, right? And we talk about that, and that given, and this isn't me saying right or wrong, this is just me laying the table, right? Setting the table. People are on deadline in those rooms. And traditionally, right, we're taught to be unbiased, that we are not supposed to show fan behavior. Do you believe that those rules still apply, even when you're thinking of extending it to the red carpet and some of the gripes that we have there?
To a degree, but it's also a case-by-case basis. And what I was saying earlier, you just talked about that just now as far as programming. We are human beings, first and foremost. But for whatever title you've worked towards or have under your name, we are humans first and foremost. And for that woman to show that level of humanity because she knew the coach, it wasn't that she was some columnist that just comes. We have these national columnists that do come in to these rooms because they're national columnists. They go from one team to the next team to the next team. She's covered that team for 20 some odd years. That woman knew the organization through and through, and
Facts.
She was very decorated as a journalist and reporter.
Facts.
So for her to look at that man's face with all he went through, because nobody gave Jacksonville a whole hell of a lot of a shot to even make the playoffs, number
Correct.
one. For them to go on that type of run with Trevor Lawrence, who's starting to finally become the Trevor Lawrence that we hope that we would see, for her to say that to that man, just a 30-second clip. It's not like she took the whole entire room, and we don't know when she spoke. We don't know if she was the first person to speak, the middle person to speak, or the last person to speak. We don't know because the clip was cut in a way that it only emphasized what she said. So I think for a journalist, you and I have had conversations. We've had conversations with people that we interview, whether now 9 times out of 10 we don't show them on camera because we cut the camera off, and then we have a little side conversation with the person in question, and then we move on. The cameras just happen to keep rolling. That's the only difference to me. We all have these conversations that sometimes they're not as seen and don't go as viral as Miss Lynn's comments went. So I think people prejudged. They what's the word I'm looking for? They critiqued. Yeah, they over critiqued her stuff. And they didn't they didn't take a breath before pressing send. Everybody was in a very emotional state because she went against the grain. And as if we're going to be journalists or quote unquote reporters, we're also taught to go against the grain. We're also taught to a certain degree to go against the grain. So how come it's okay when we want to do investigative reporting, but when we want to highlight another human being and uplift a human being, now that's a crime? I mean, they got treated like she committed a crime.
Right. What they're pointing to is that there can sometimes be the reason why that rule has always been rolled out or upheld is because when you get to the point, and obviously she has been through this cycle and it's a little different. When you get to the point where you have to ask the hard questions, sometimes the people on the other side are like, you're my friend or whatever, and they don't want to be questioned by that. Andy's shaking his head, but seriously, just like people feel like, oh, Stephen A. Smith, he's never going to give an honest assessment of LeBron James because he don't like him. That's kind of the thought process with the reason why they want you to remain unbiased. And shout out to Pretty Brown Mimi. Miss Jones' organization is the Jacksonville Free Press. Pretty Brown Mimi's in Jacksonville, Florida. So big ups to her.
Hello.
Thoughts? No? Either of you?
Oh,
okay.
Man, Nick, you pretty much broke it down. Well said.
Thank you, sir.
Where's the humanity at?
Big
and
facts.
like you said, she's been there for 20 plus years. Just like I said yesterday, what the local sports cats, like I watched the Lakers and I watched the Spectrum, and I feel like they crack jokes. They say positive stuff to their.
But they're the commentators. They're not the beat reporters.
No.
Oh, I know some Laker beat reporters that will lather up and ball wash the Lakers.
Okay, and here you go. What did you just say?
But nobody says anything about that.
You're right, but
when a black woman does it or a black person does it,
no,
it's a crime.
But let me ask you: do you therefore not take their critiques or their commentary as seriously because you feel like they're ball washers?
Well, because they consistently do it. This woman we have not seen a consistent variation of what she's doing. Now, she may do this behind the scenes, but this is the first time we've seen Lynn Jones do this. We have not. If you read any of her articles, I checked out some of her articles, she has written very balanced and very direct. But at the same time, when she does this out of the kindness of her heart, now all of a sudden it's a problem?
It's a problem.
Come on, man.
I'm not saying it's a problem.
No, I was
yeah, I know. I'm just finishing your statement.
Come on, man. Y'all got to get it together. It's a new day and a new world. Like, that's the people that just mad at the new media.
She's not even new media, though.
No, but I'm saying this the ideology.
Yeah, that's what I said last night.
I know it's probably like no comparison, but it's like Pat McAfee is on every day on ESPN cussing a storm on regular TV. Nobody says nothing. But we're outraged over some positive messaging.
Big facts.
My man.
All right, listen. When we come forward, we're going to get into Salt-N-Pepa. Martin finally responding to all the backlash about Pam. And more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
To a gangster's game. And I put that on everything. Whatever works the best is where the streets are coming from. infatuated with cars, houses, envy, greed, and money. I work the streets. I made up.
Dads and corrupt and dash, nickels and pennies, and pounds of hash. Double up, dope. Double my money, make it boil and bubble. Get a grip, ain't nothing funny. You can't survive off no conversation with words. Best to get off your ass and then go flip some birds. Hand me my cash. Nobody moves and nobody get blast. My first words and my last. I got a platoon, mask and armor suits. First infantry and riders on a global pursuit. Parachute and jump, hellhound and stomp. With a pump, about to dump, put it into the hunt.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. The U.S. Supreme Court is weighing two major cases on transgender athlete bans from Idaho and West Virginia. During arguments, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, who is black, questioned Idaho's attorney, Alan Michael Hurst, on why a statewide ban cannot be handled case by case.
Why is that so not administrable? We're not going to be able to sustain. I don't understand that.
The rulings could affect similar laws in nearly half of the country. Officials are searching for several monkeys on the loose in the St. Louis area. The Missouri Department of Health says the animals native to Africa have been spotted near O'Fallon Park. The search has been complicated by fake AI images circulating online. And the president of HBCU Morris Brown College, Kevin James, says he was fired without explanation despite his contract running through 2029. James says enrollment at the Atlanta HBCU grew from about 20 students to more than 500 during his tenure. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
5 southbound in Burbank. It's slow moving getting away from Alameda. You're on the brakes all the way to the 605 and the northbound side of the 5. Slowing down in East LA from just about Indiana Street. You're on the brakes and stretches all the way back to the 134. Just check out the drive on the 101. Southbound still slowing down out of Calabasas away from Lost Hills. You're on the brakes all the way into downtown Los Angeles. And in Irvine, the 405 northbound still crowding up at the 133. Delays all the way to Lakewood Boulevard.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Mike Tomlin, the dean of active NFL head coaches and the most successful African-American head coach in NFL history, told his Pittsburgh Steelers team Tuesday morning that he is stepping down and will not return for a 20th season. The announcement by the 53-year-old Tomlin ends a 19-year run for Tomlin as the face of one of the NFL's legendary franchises. Tomlin was not fired. It was his decision, as he expressed to his players and ownership to move on. Tomlin's decision comes less than 24 hours after Pittsburgh lost to Houston Monday night, 30-6 in the first round of the AFC playoffs. It was the 7th straight first-round playoff loss for Pittsburgh with Tomlin. Tomlin's last playoff win was 2016. The Steelers won a Super Bowl with Tomlin in 2009 and never had a losing season after he was hired in 2007. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580. Tired of the same old sports talk? Ready to go where the real conversation happens? Hi, I'm Ray Richardson, host of Out of Bounds, the sports show that doesn't play it safe. Every Friday at 6 p.m. on KBLA Talk 1580, my co-host Neil Scarborough and I get you ready for the weekend. We take you beyond the highlight reels and into the stories that matter. The controversial calls, the game-changing plays, the athletes making headlines for all the right reasons and sometimes the wrong ones. From the NFL to the NBA, college ball to the pros, if it's happening in sports, we're breaking it down with no filter and all opinion. Tune in to Out of Bounds with me, Ray Richardson, and my co-host Neil Scarborough, live every Friday at 6 p.m. only on KBLA Talk 1580, because the best conversations happen out of bounds. KBLA Talk 1580, where Los Angeles talks.
My name is Tyrone Owens, and this is my home for 23 years that burned in the fire. Me and my wife, Charlene, we had this whole yard decorated every year.
This was the house that sparkled throughout the entire neighborhood on all the holidays. It's a community that will never be the same due to the negligence of a utility company. So I am pretty upset about that.
We were nowhere near being able to rebuild with our insurance. It's going to cost $1 million to put your house back up.
I want to get back to that point where we were before the fire. I'm starting to get emotional, but I'll work through it. LA Fire Justice has been wonderful for us. They're just caring people. We have all faith in them.
Big ups to LA Fire Justice, who's given us hope to rebuild 100%.
Advertisement. Douglas Foxer, 221 East Walnut Street, Suite 100, Pasadena, California, 91101 is the attorney responsible for this ad.
LA Fire Justice is proud to sponsor Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
That's just how I do. I'm young right now, but I won't be forever. So I'ma live it up like that's true. You might wanna roll with me too. Said I don't mean to brag, but I live a life that most can only dream about. Yeah. So baby, come.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. All right, we gotta power through a couple of things. A lot to get into tonight. So listen, first up, I've had some requests, and we talked about it a little bit before the show. Rapper Kurupt of the Dog Pound. Daz has asked that you send get well messages to Kurupt. Basically, Kurupt was hospitalized for several weeks. The exact illness that he is suffering with is unknown. Kurupt has had some issues with alcohol. So we want to send out loving, supportive energy to Kurupt. We don't really have more than that right now, but you know, we lost Nate Dogg early. We know Nate Dogg had a problem with alcohol as well, and he ended up with a stroke and some other things. So send all types of love, encouragement, and support to Kurupt. Andy?
I don't know if they've kissed and made up, but I hope this situation kind of, you know, brings Daz and Snoop back together.
Back closer.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I mean, prayers and healing out to that brother Kurupt, man. God bless him and his family, too. Good dude, man. Good dude. If you ever got a chance to talk or meet Kurupt, good brother, man. Talented as all get out, but genuinely good brother. Him and his wife, too. Shout out to both of them.
So let's get into, since we're talking about hip-hop pioneers, Salt-N-Pepa, we talked about their battle against Universal Music Group to get their masters back. We know 30 years, 35 years, somewhere around there. the ownership rights for masters revert back to generally the artist, the writer. Well, recall back in the day as teenagers, early 20s, Salt-N-Pepa signed to Herbie Lovebug Starsky, right? No, it's not Starsky.
No.
Herbie Lovebug Azor. Starsky, somebody else. Excuse me. And he owned all of their masters, right? Well, they sued Universal Music Group to get ownership back of those recordings, right? A federal judge has dismissed their lawsuit seeking ownership of the early masters. And the lawsuit was filed in May of last year. The albums in dispute are the first album, Hot, Cool, and Vicious, Assault with the Deadly Peppa, and Black's Magic. Excuse me. Judge Denise Coate ruled that they never owned the copyright. Their original 1986 contract signed with Herbie Azor's Noise in the Attic is the rights holder, and the rights transferred to Herbie. Not Salt-N-Pepa, not Next Plateau Records, which is the label that they were on. UMG later requested a rights as a successor in interest, and they temporarily removed the albums from streaming during the dispute. So Salt-N-Pepa said that they will file an appeal. They said that UMG made a statement. While we are gratified the court dismissed this baseless lawsuit, we remain open to resolving the matters and amplifying Salt-N-Pepa's legacy. So it's a case of iconic doesn't mean empowered.
I mean, damn, why they gotta stick me for my paper? I mean, that's basically what happens when you don't read contracts and you're so giddy and so happy just to get.
I mean, it was 86.
I'm just saying, but I mean, contracts are still contracts. I mean,
but here's the thing. Let me ask you this, and not to interrupt, but realistically, even if they read that contract, like I noticed in the Diddy documentary, The Reckoning, Sean Combs on Netflix, Babs Bunny said she gave her contract to her lawyer, and he was like, look, this is good and terrible. It'll make you famous, but it won't make you rich. And she was like, let me sign it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, she did. She did say that,
and
which was mind-boggling to me.
I mean, but a lot of people are like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Those reality TV show contracts, trash.
Oh yeah.
But if you don't have another option in 1986, how are you going to get on?
Well, the thing about it is this too. Like, I remember something that even Warren G said, and I know he told when Snoop got presented with his contract early in the day. This was like 91, 92, and Warren G was like, "Man, go get a lawyer and look at that." And Suge got mad at him. And that's when that whole friction kicked off. But the fact that Warren G knew enough to be like, "Hey, man, you need to go get that looked at." No, this is what I say. Like, you got to have people around you, not just for the sake of being around you, but being for you.
Add value. Yep.
And you know, maybe they didn't have anybody around them. Like you said, they trying to get on. They was working with the call center at Sears and all that stuff. And I get it. But it's like, dude, that stuff could come and bite you. You know, I mean, look at the whole Death Row era. Like, they just now getting, Daz and them are just now getting their stuff, their rights reverted back to them. Yep. Corrupt, Snoop, all those guys. So, I mean, it's important about what you sign. Yeah, you famous, but like they always say, it's a lot of famous broke people.
Facts. Andy?
I'm glad that you touched on that, because I think some people will choose the fame over the money sometimes on some situations. They're like, look, this is going to be a whack contract, but you know what? This is going to give me the exposure to do other things, and I can make a bag other kind of ways.
But are they suing the wrong people? Because it sounds like, based upon what they need to sue Herbie Lovebug and not Universal.
They did not speak to Herbie for years. I was actually very surprised when I saw him at their
he was
the Hall of
at the
Fame
after party. Yeah,
he was at the ceremony as well.
Yeah, he was.
So I was kind of shocked by that. So we'll see. All right, next up, right? We've been talking about this. We talked about Ari Lennox making this statement. We talked about Tachina Arnold's response saying that, hey, there is no colorism in this, right? You can't help how you feel and how art impacts you, but you can recognize when you are projecting your internal thoughts onto a piece of art, or at least you should be able to, right? Martin Lawrence has finally weighed in after Ari Lennox criticized jokes aimed at Pam on Martin, right? Ari said the humor pissed her off. She felt it was rooted in colorism, and it impacted her. As a matter of fact, some of our VIPs felt the same way. And they let me know about it. They said that they were impacted. And you don't want to ignore that. But sometimes you have to recognize when something's not meant for you, right? When it's just being put out in the ethos, perhaps. Tachina added fuel to the fire by claiming reverse colorism, towards Tisha Campbell. Now, Tachina apologized for misspeaking, but she said that during their time on set, people would come to the set and be talking mess about Tisha, booing when she came out, like, little light-skinned, big-head girl, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But people weren't trying to hear that. When we come forward, we're going to get into Martin's response to all of this brouhaha.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. All right, let's get to it. Martin on the colorism debate that has popped up around his show, Martin, and the character of Pam.
Did you ever have that concern, or what do you make of that whole back and forth?
No, I never had that concern because I knew they were jokes, and that's the way black people. That's the way we joke. We go hard, and me and Tashina were just having a lot of fun, and we were just keeping it real, and I was just keeping it real, and so that's why we got a lot of laughs out of it. So she has a right to have her own opinion and everything, but there was no malice intent.
So boom, that's it. Go ahead.
I need a drink.
Yeah.
Because why do we keep listening to crazy people? Like, why do we keep listening to Ari Lennox? I don't understand it. She says nothing profound. She just tries to stir up controversy because she wants to be in the limelight. That's all it is. First of all, in the 90s, it was a different time and a different era, and you had to be on top of your game. And like Martin said, these were jokes. You could crack on each other. You could clown each other. That's what it was. And I believe Martin, it wasn't no malicious intent, because there were times you could see them about to start laughing at each other, and they had to turn their faces away from the camera so they wouldn't mess up the scene because they were about to start laughing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there was any malicious intent when it came to that. I think it's just so way out. And these kids nowadays are softer than drugstore cotton. And I can't understand how this even became a topic. If that's the case, go look at Living Single. Max and Kyle used to crack on each other so bad, you would wonder, dang, do they really hate each other behind the scenes? Because some of them jokes got real steep, but they were just having fun. It was part of the show. It was part of the. Yeah, same thing with Will and Carlton. They used to crack on each other all the time. That was the time frame, dude.
I mean, a time-honored tradition in the black community is the dozens, right? But
we used to clown. And what happened to that? Because we got so soft as a society and so sensitive. It's like, come on, man. If you wink somebody the wrong way, oh my God, I'm gonna call the national hotline because I don't know if I can go on. Like, come on, man. Y'all gotta toughen up.
Here's my theory, and I gotta blame our generation. Unfortunately, we grew up at a time where, a lot of the stuff that our parents did, we wasn't really fond of. So once we became of age and we started to have our own kids, we were like, you know what? We're not going to do the same things that our parents did. I'm not going to put a belt to my kid. I'm going to go ahead and actually sit down and talk to my kid. You know what I'm saying? If there's an issue, you're going to go on timeout. You're going to go to the corner. But we've also given kids so many rights and so many privileges that,
they are entitled.
They're super entitled. So I want to put a little bit of the responsibility on us, because I think we've created that space for them.
The participation trophy era.
Absolutely.
Everybody gets a prize.
But see, we don't separate church and state. We don't know how to separate and compartmentalize what goes where. And I think that's where the disconnect came in. Because we in the 90s kids, we was like, hey, this is what it is. And if you didn't clown, you was gonna get clowned every day.
These are big facts.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Now you talking about bullies and all this. Man, we used to knock bullies to the curb.
There were bullies back then.
Yeah,
let's not act like we didn't get bullied.
No, but I'm just saying. But you eventually, what happened? You knock them to the curb, and they either was your friend or they left you the hell alone.
So with that being said, another question: what was Ari Lennox's upbringing like? Did she grow up around white folks?
She belongs in a padded room.
I think that matters, though.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but I'm saying I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
We have to stop listening to crazy people.
Really quick, shout out to the sorority of Delta Sigma Theta. Today is their Founders Day.
It's their hood day.
Yeah, it is. Big ups to them. We'll be celebrating the originators on Thursday. No, I'm just playing. No,
organized gangsterism.
No bang banging.
Right, no that part.
So big ups to Delta Sigma Theta, and they're red and white.
Would you have pledged, Jill?
I would have. I think
AKA,
I shared this
huh?
story. Yeah, I would have pledged AKA.
Oh, she was gonna bang the hood, huh?
I mean, that's what I was gonna do, but
what is it? Oop. Oh, my bad. That's skew-wee.
Yeah, she's gonna be on the beach cruiser like.
But but I do not have letters, so I do not participate because them people are crazy. But shout out to all of them.
I mean, that's why you can't participate in the hood politics.
Listen, Urban Spinster in the chat just saying that, knocking me down. Now, Jill, you're not even Greek, girl. I see, and that's why I said I try to tread carefully.
They banging on the net like
already.
They banging the hood on the
They
net.
do not play about that, so respectfully, you know.
I don't want to hear y'all talking about Bloods and Crips no more about how y'all get down. That's all I'm saying.
All right, really quickly, I wanted to play this piece because the Godfrey clip. I thought it was important. Comedian Godfrey says that Saturday Night Live passed on him, not for talent, but for fit. But because Godfrey, they knew he was positioned to take off. So listen to this story because I think it's important. Sometimes rejection is protection. I know we talk about it, but sometimes even the things that we know we deserve, we don't get because there's a bigger play at hand. So I thought this story was important.
When did you audition for SNL?
98. They say 4 characters, 4 impersonations. I did 5. I got a standing ovation, and I never got chosen. I didn't even make it to the second round.
Really?
Didn't know why. But think about it. You think you might be the next Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
Even my manager was like, oh, we didn't know you were going to do that well. Then I didn't get a call back. Nothing. Daryl Hammond comes up to me at the cellar. Hey, Godfrey, man, I've been wanting to talk to you for a minute, you know. Yeah, I wanted to give you some closure on, remember when you auditioned for SNL in 98 at the comedy show? So, yeah. I was sitting right next to Lauren Michael when you did that standing O, blah, blah. He goes, you were a no-brainer. But they didn't want to see that shit. They didn't want to see you take over like Eddie. He said, I'm being honest with you as a straight white male who's been on there for a long time. They didn't want to see that happen again.
So, you know, I thought that was an important story because it was positioned basically that you were perfect. You were out the park, but they know that you would leave, you would take over, and they couldn't handle that. Any thoughts?
We taking over. I mean, Godfrey's talented. I mean, that dude is funny. I like what Godfrey stands for. I can definitely see him taking over, and they could not have another Eddie situation. I can see that it's wrong, but you know they missed out because Godfrey's a talent.
So just recognize that. Listen, one more thing I want to drop in before we wrap up, and Andy. Oh. I'll hold it because I forgot. I have the Sean Stockman clip that I was supposed to talk to you guys about since last week, and I really want to talk about it, but I need more time. And I thought I was going to have time tonight, but we got into a spirited conversation that was much more important. So we will revisit. All right, really quickly. First up, Nick Hamilton, tell everybody where they can find you at.
The NH Experience on Instagram, at NiteCast Media on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.
All right. So we briefly mentioned this, but big up to 50 Cent once again. He has a $124 million Louisiana entertainment expansion. 50 plans a multi-phase entertainment build in Northwest Louisiana. We know he bought the film studios that were there. $124 million total investment, up to $50 million in performance-based state funding. So the state is involved in this, and he's getting some kickbacks. Remember, he talked to Tyler, so he got the blueprint. There are 3 sites, Stageworks, Millennium Studios, and a new immersive dome venue. It's projected to have an impact of $18.8 billion on Louisiana economy and will amount to 6,000 jobs, $300 million in wages over the next 20 years. It's not a side hustle. That's infrastructure. Big ups to 50 for putting it down. You know what I'm saying? And he's bringing festivals there. Listen, thank you guys for locking in, getting your trending topics and headlines. You know, your backstage pass to the culture. All these facts, culture, and context. Make sure that you are locked in each and every Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. for all of this. I'm Jill Munroe. Coming up next is the voice of reason, Zoe Williams. Thank you so much. I'll catch you tomorrow.
Now me, I get it in. I get it in. Me, I get it in. I get it in. Now me, I get it in. I get it in. Me, I get it in. I get it in. Look, soon as I step in the club, I swear you could feel the attention shift. Started around 12, ended up around 2. I better leave them all than I came here with. I can't be responsible for what I say or I do when I talk intoxicated. Shorty say I told her I love her, I put out the next morning saying that must have been faded. I don't know what you heard about me, but the word about me is I'm no trick, I'm no sucker, I'm no chump. I be in the VIP with my around me saying y'all can have whatever you want. Me, I get it in Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We get it in. I need a drink, give me a drink. I need a drink, shorty, give me a drink. I need a drink, give me a drink. I need a drink, shorty, give me a drink. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. I go hard when it's time to play. Shorty get the drop in the low, like the dancers do, and the go-go in front of me. She know I like to see her dance, she get the breaking it down, we get the bouncing out of control. Because I got a hell of a flow, we got paper to blow, my whole quick pop bottles galore. It's no secret, the hood done peeped it. When we come through, son, we look like bread. My 89 grind make my own 9 shine, like we've been moving bricks round this for years. I say I get it in, it's because I get it in. Now shorty there 8, but her friend there 10. I'm finna spit my G with me, I'm in the wind. I'm cool to the mall, then we do this shit again. Me, I get it in Sunday,